Good morning. It's your girl, Jen, and it is Wednesday. If you are watching this live, this is Jen Sugarmeyer with Mindset in the Morning. We are here live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central, but it's YouTube, so you can watch it whenever. And the point of this show is to become intentional about our days. We work our bodies out in the morning. Sometimes we start our day off with the right meal. We also need to get our mind right. The mind is what's going to get you through the entire day. And I want you to show up powerfully. I want you to show up as the person that you want to be. I always say, are you happening to life or is life happening to you? And I want you to happen to life. I want you to be in the driver's seat. And there's so many things that are happening throughout the day. It's just our lives are just constantly look over here, look over here, look over here. There's this, there's that, there's this. You turn on the news, there's a million things that are happening. And in an instance, we can go into a state of suffering where we're in fear, we're anxious, we're angry, we have resentment, or something happens and it catches us off guard. And how do we handle these situations? And so those are the things that we are talking about here on Mindset in the Morning, because the truth is there's a million things that can happen. But as long as we know the tools, as long as we're prepared, when you know better, then you can do better. I didn't realize everything that was in my mind until I was about 35 years old. I was just going through life. So life was happening to me and I would just respond to things however I wanted to respond. I didn't actually stop to think, is this how I want to respond? Does this align with who I am? Does this help me show up powerfully? Am I able to accomplish my life goals by me acting this way or responding this way? I never asked these questions. And so this is what I want you to get really clear on, because when you start to become clear on the person it is that you want to be, then you can become that person. But if you don't know who you want to be, where you're going, and you're just going through the motions of life, then whatever happens, happens. Life is just left to chance. So let's get really clear on Mindset in the Morning about what you want to look like and how you want your life to be. So today, this one's really been on my heart, talking about, is this the right fit? Yeah. And mostly we'll be talking about people. And this week we've been talking about resistance that you have and how to get in flow. And this goes along with that same theme of, those people in your life, and are they the right fit? Sometimes you hang out with them and you're like, are these my people? Are they? I don't know. And so often that I've done this, so often we come from a place of, no, these are my friends. These are my friends. I've been friends with them for a long time, or this is my company. These are the people I work with. And so just because they're there, we say, oh no, these are my people. But are they? Is that truly who you want to be around? And sometimes we find ourselves fighting for these, friendships, but are they even bringing value? Are they the kind of people that have the energy that's uplifting for you? So I want to dig into this topic of, are these my people, to help give you clarity for you to assess. So we're not going to walk out of here and I want you to go throw away all your friends or whatnot. But when you know better, you do better. And when knowledge truly is power. And so when you know that, there's some dissonance that I feel, there's some resistance, like we talked about yesterday. I'm not in flow when I'm in this environment, when I'm around these people, when I'm whatever. And you can start to become aware. And then you either do mindset shifts or you make physical changes, whatever it is. You start to become aware and you modify based off of that new level of awareness. So we are leveling up. We are leveling up to the next level. And with leveling up, it comes a little bit of discomfort often. So just know that that's all part and parcel of the 2 Genie gig. Do you know what that is? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Aladdin. So, and Robin Williams, rest in peace. So, all right, let's talk about some friendships. All right. Maybe there's a new group of people that you want to be around. I talked about last week that I was on this boat. I've had a lot of content from this boat that I was on, by the way. And there were these people that were there. Now, there could be one of a couple things that were happening because I felt like a fish out of water a bit. And these people were, CEOs, and I don't typically have issues with being around new people. Like, I don't get starstruck. I don't like, none of that stuff phases me. But for whatever reason, it was a little odd when I was on this boat. And so maybe it is growth. Maybe that's growth that I need to go through in order to, feel comfortable with being around this level of successful people. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Or maybe these just aren't my people. Maybe I didn't feel comfortable because the energy wasn't right. Maybe I didn't feel comfortable because they weren't warm and inviting like I am. Maybe these weren't the right people because of any number of reasons. So I don't know. And with a new group of people, it may take you a few times to start there and assess. And by the way, we are going to get to a point in the show where we're going to talk about what you can do around people. So I'm not going to just leave you hanging, but we're just going to go through some scenarios first, just to put some things in context. So maybe it's a new group of people. Maybe it is that you just need to get comfortable. You've never been around this type of, this group of people. And so you're stretching, you're growing. Maybe you're about to break into a new industry. And so it's a little uncomfortable because you don't even know the lingo yet. I know I've been there where I started working for a new company and they're talking in like wingdings because they're not really wingdings, but all these acronyms. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even feel comfortable talking because I don't even know what people are saying. So sometimes there's that just level of getting comfortable in your new environment, and that's okay. But it could also be that these aren't your people. These aren't your people. So we'll get back there. Okay. Maybe it's your current group of friends. And as you are leveling up, as you are going through your life in different phases, because life is going to continue to change, you may find that the people around you, you start to question, are these my people? I look back at the friends that I had when I was 16, and granted, I actually still have a lot of these friends in my life, but just think of where you were when you were 16 and the things that you were doing. And imagine that nobody's grown up, that they're still the exact same people doing the exact same things. Like, just imagine you hanging out with a bunch of 16-year-olds right now in your life. How about imagine that one? Yeah, it's like not the right fit. Probably not your people. As you grow in your life, you may find, and you may have some friends that you are still friends with from when you were 16, but you may also find that some of those same people didn't do anything with their life. They never advanced themselves. You'll always have a heart for them. If you saw them, you'd say, hey, but is that the people that you were like hanging out with? Are those the people that you're calling for advice? Probably not. Probably not. So as you are going through your life, people are going to come and they're going to go. And if you still have some of these people that are lingering in your life and you're like, no, but they're my friends, like we have to be friends. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to eliminate people, but are these your people? I mean, our goal is always to be surrounded by our tribe. When you are surrounded by your tribe, there is a completely different feeling. And we'll get to this. There's a different feeling than when you're just forced to be around people. You don't feel authentic to yourself. That's a really good word. We're going to come back to it. What about your job? Sometimes we're in a job and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid of getting laid off. Oh my gosh. Oh, these people in my job, I hope they like me. I was talking with someone yesterday and she was with her company for 25 years, 25 years. And The company had a new CIO, and a lot of times when there's a new C-suite that comes in, they come in and they make a lot of changes. They get rid of departments, they insource, they outsource, whatever that may be. And so this lady knew that that her department was getting axed, and it was slowly getting axed away. And she said, you know what? Here, I'm gone. I'm done. And there were other people that said, but before, as she was telling some of her colleagues this, she said, I'm just not interested in always like looking behind my, like, is it going to be my turn? Is it going to be my turn? She's like, no, I am going to make the decision if I leave or not. Like, you're not going to come and just eliminate my job because there's a new person that comes in and doesn't understand what I do. I've been here for 25 years. And there were other people that were like, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. And she watched this. She watched her colleagues saying, oh my gosh, what if it's my job? What if it's my job? And this woman said, hold on, I'm in the driver's seat. If this isn't the right fit, then I'm gone. Then it's not the right fit. Whereas these other people are like, are they going to like me? Is this the right fit? I'm so fearful. I'm so fearful. What about my job? And they're just holding on to this thing that they see what's happening. And the entire department is gone. There's like, I think she said 2 people left of this big, huge company. But we hold on to these things, and we hold on to these people and our jobs. And it's like, we want them so badly. We have to hold on to them, and we get fearful. And that's not who we authentically are. There is resistance in you when you are feeling this way. We talked about resistance yesterday. We talked about being in flow on Monday. Are you in flow when you are in these situations with these people that you're like, I don't know, are these my people? Like, they don't uplift me. They don't support me. They don't even talk about the things that I like to talk about. Or maybe it's your company and you're like, oh, I come to work and they don't even value me, but I just need to stay here. I need to, because this is my job. How does that sound? We've all been there. You've been there, where we're just holding on to something longer than we should. And at some point, we need to have that real conversation with ourselves and say, hey, am I in the driver's seat? Or am I allowing everybody else to have an influence on my life? And we do that so often. We just give our power away. We say, you know what? I'm going to conform to you. I'm going to do what you want. I'm part of this group, and I'm starting to see some dissonance within myself, some resistance. And this is when you should have that powerful conversation with yourself. Is this the right fit for me? If you have too much on your plate, if you are feeling some type of resistance with people, if when you're about to go out with friends, you go, oh, I have to hang out with these people, that is resistance. If you are looking over your shoulder at your job, like, do they respect me? Do they like me? Are they going to fire me tomorrow? That is resistance. You need to be asking yourself, are you in the right place? Because whomever is in your space should feel honored to be around you. When you are around your tribe, there is a completely different feeling than, I just want to fit in. I just want to fit in. No, you want to be, going back to Monday, in flow. You want to be in flow. Now, you are going to be in situations throughout your life that I acknowledge that you are not always going to have an opportunity to say, these aren't my people, but yeah, so I'm going to leave. There may be a situation at work that you have to, maybe there's an event and you have to go to that, and they're not all your people. That job is a great fit for you. Your department is a great fit, but the company at large, maybe not. So here are some tips. that as you are in situations, you got to know yourself. It comes down to knowing yourself. We've said over and over, when you know yourself, you win all battles. So who are you at the core? What are your values? What are your beliefs? And when you know these, then any situation that comes up, you have to hold boundaries to those. If somebody wants to start talking about some politics and you're not comfortable with it, or religion, or abortion, or the war, or whatever, if it's something that you don't feel comfortable talking about, or there's some level of dissonance, then you have to understand your boundaries so that you either walk away from the situation or whatever that may be. Change the topic. You don't have to stay in that conversation. You could just say, hey, you know what? Actually not comfortable about talking about that. So we're just going to change the topic. Or you could just let them say something and then you just change the topic. You don't even have to say, oh, I don't want to talk about this. However, it feels right for you. But knowing yourself is going to help you get through these situations. Having boundaries, having clear boundaries. I know for myself, I didn't really have these boundaries and I'm still setting them. I'm still setting them. Sometimes here's one that I really struggle with is leaving conversations or leaving situations and being like, I got to go somewhere. Sometimes I'm good about that and sometimes I'm not. Like, you know what? I got to wind this down because I got to go to bed. Sometimes I'm bad about leaving those conversations and I stay for longer than I want to. And so that's something that I'm working on. I'm working on it. So just because you put boundaries in place doesn't mean that your whole life has boundaries. Look at your life and assess where you need to do better and then show up more powerfully and just step by step. And you'll start to gain confidence within yourself as you start to speak up for yourself, as you start to say, I'm not comfortable in this situation. It will start to flow more the more that you practice. You've just got to go through it. So even somebody who is as confident as myself, I can still feel weird in situations sometimes, or not have enough, boundaries, or still have things that I'm working on. We are always going to be working on things. So you've never just, I've arrived. You may be a lot better at things. Absolutely. But have you ever just arrived? No, you'll always be working on things. And I hope that is truly the case, because I think if you are not growing, you're dying. And I want you to always be growing. So when you're in situations, know yourself. Know yourself. Keep your boundaries. Know your beliefs. Know your values. Keep those boundaries. And always stay authentic to you. That's what people want. People don't want a fake you. I met a woman one time and she said, oh, I changed myself for all of the men that I date. Literally, she said this. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even understand the words that she was saying to me because it was just so foreign. I'm like, you change yourself. And it wasn't for one guy, it was for every guy. And I was like, whoa, what? And guess what? She has nobody in her life right now, because every time she's dating someone, there's always some like, it doesn't work out. Well, maybe that's because you're not being you. You're being someone else. And when you're someone else, that's not being authentic to you. How do you get in flow? Isn't there internal resistance when you're not being you? So like you're fighting this battle immediately because you're not being you. So wherever you are in your situation, if you're around people, if you're around, in a company situation and you have to be there, stay true to those three things: knowing yourself, knowing your values and your beliefs, and staying authentic to you. Those are going to help you get through a situation. But I want you to have that powerful conversation with yourself. Are these my people? Is this where I need to be? And if it's not, is it mindset work that you need to do? Or is that the right place for you in general? And I can't answer that for you. I'm happy to take a look at your situation. You're welcome to email me at higherinheels@gmail.com, higherinheels@gmail.com, because this is Mindset in the Morning brought to you by Higher in Heels. You can email us there, and we can talk about the situation. But because you are somewhere, because there are people in your life, because you are working for a job, it doesn't mean that that's where you have to stay. You get to do whatever you want because you are in the driver's seat, but always know who you are. Stay true to yourself, know your values, know your beliefs, and stay authentic to you. Those are going to help you in your situation. Stay true to who you are. So I hope that helped you. I'd love to hear in the chat how this resonates with you. Feel free to email me as well. If you have any topics that you'd like to talk about, also email that email list, higherinheels@gmail.com. And we will see you back here tomorrow. If you've not yet liked, if you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button.